3, 2. The producer hand means silence on the set, Ryan.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
That's right, Steve. On this episode, we're going to talk about wood. Trevor Smith asks, will the cost of lumber equate to higher prices on guitars? Inflation concerns? Buy more guitars now or later? Do you know about the wood thing, Steve?
I don't. What is this? Is the price of wood going up?
The price of wood is going up almost as much as gas is rare these days, apparently. Wood is a problem. Gas is a problem.
I think California gas is fine.
I've got plenty of gas.
Dude, I got a bag of like hot beans. I'm afraid to make them because usually when I make them, it's a rough week for everyone else. I'm fine.
We had Mexican for dinner, and I did hit the refried beans pretty hard. So, yeah, gas will not be a problem around here. But this besides flatulence, there's a lumber issue right now. I went to Home Depot a week or so ago, and 2x4s that normally would have been like $2.50.
Yeah,
we're like $7 or $8.
Oh, dang.
Apparently it's a huge problem right now. Like construction lumber, 2x4s, plywood sheets and stuff like that.
You never want wood to be a huge problem.
Well, you want it to be huge, but you still want it to be a problem. These are penis jokes that we're making. I'm sorry.
At least for once, like
I'd say that we're classier than this, but that's not true.
The cost of like housing in California is justified. The actual cost of materials is skyrocketing.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of home construction going on, and there was already like a supply chain issue or something. And so all these construction companies were like, we're not going to buy at those prices right now because that's crazy. We're going to wait until prices go down. And then they waited a few months, and it's like prices have still gone up more. And like, oh shoot, we have to build these houses. We have to build these buildings. We can't wait anymore. I guess we're just going to make more expensive houses and buildings.
Right.
So it's like, and everyone's just jumping in and being like, well, we have to do this. Made it even worse because everyone was holding off, and then everyone jumped in at the same time. So does the price of construction lumber affect the price of guitar wood though?
Probably in the long term it does. But I think that's an effect.
It's different wood though.
Like, is it all wood?
I don't know. I was under the impression that it's just construction material wood, which is just pine. It's just Douglas fir and stuff, right?
I just redwood, but like you make
pine and redwood, and like it's not the woods that typically you're building guitars out of. I don't think the woods that guitars are built out of are going to be affected by this. I could be totally wrong. Like maybe there's other supply chain issues going on, but
I found the best site to know about why wood is so expensive. It's Deseret News. Deseret.com.
That's where I go for all my news. Deseretnews.com.
If anyone would know about wood and the cost of it, it's the Mormons.
What would the Mormons say about lumber? Is what
That's what I'm learning about. This article's too long.
Yeah, Steve, we don't actually have to know. We don't actually have to have information. This is for speculation purposes only.
Per 1,000 board feet went from $343 to $1,635 in a year. Forget GameStop, guys. We should have bought lumber.
Lumber, guys. Invest in lumber.
Well, it's too late now. We're at peak lumber.
Yeah, it's had me rethinking projects around the house. Like we've thought like, oh, it would be nice to replace the fence for a few years. I'm like, I'm never replacing that fence now. Hell no, that fence can rot to the ground. I don't need a fence.
Yeah, I don't know. It does make it sound like building materials in general. So I guess you're probably not building your home out of like maple
or basswood,
or you know what the price could increase on where you would see this hit,
or you would see it
is in amplifiers and cabinets.
For Baltic birch and stuff like that.
Yeah, your Baltic plies.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So stock up on 4x12 cabs now.
Yeah.
Go buy that Marshall cab you've been thinking about.
Trevor wanted to know if you should buy more guitars now or later, but you should go out. Everyone should be going out and buying as many crate 4x12s as you can.
Just stripping off the Tolex and then driving by your local construction site and being like, hey, who wants to buy wood?
So, I mean, we talked about this on your, after your all amps episode, right?
Mm-hmm. You want to grab that crate 2x12? That's like MDF though, right? Except for the back panel that you put on there.
This cab is garbage MDF, but this right here, that's high quality Baltic ply, guys. This is like...
It's only got one hole in it.
This is like $1 worth of Baltic ply.
Construction boys, hit up Steve. He will sell you this.
It was $1 worth. Now it's like $4 worth.
You're in the money now. I mean, I think for most consumers, for the projects that I do around the house, a 2x4 going from $2.50 up to $8 or whatever isn't going to ruin my life. But if you're building structures, like there's all sorts of construction things going on around San Diego. If you're building structures, like that adds up.
Yeah.
Really freaking quick.
The sad thing, when you were like, the price of a 2x4 has gone from this to that, I'm like, okay.
What am I going to do with a 2x4? You're going to build a guitar out of it, Steve. You're going to buy one 2x4 and you're going to make a guitar out of it.
I mean, maybe Eastwood is going to have problems manufacturing those Devo guitars.
Now, hypothetically, if there is some sort of supply chain issue here that affects all wood, everybody's wood, could you see, I'll be more worried when wood starts shrinking is what I'm saying.
Okay. Hey, wood can't get bigger forever.
Could you see this being something that causes a push for alternative materials in guitars?
Well, so that's what I was thinking about is, there's been a movement by certain manufacturers to use rich light for fretboards. Could you make other things out of rich light, or would it be
why not?
Would it be too heavy? I don't know if how rich light compares in weight.
It's supposed to be really strong. Like if you made like a Dan Electro style construction out of rich light, I'm sure it would be just fine. Like where it's mostly hollow.
If you build a Dan Electro out of rich light, you got to send it to Phoebe Bridgers and see if she can smash it. Because she smashed that other one.
Carbon fiber guitars.
There you go. Make them out of plastic. Recycle all of your old soda bottles and build a guitar.
Aluminum guitars.
Also recycle
all your beer cans and your soda cans.
Glass guitars. Got some really good ideas. Newspaper guitars.
Paper mache guitars.
Paper mache guitars is where. Well, that's just rich light again, isn't it?
Yeah. What if you make a guitar out of something that's alive, like bone? Like bone guitars?
Are bones alive, Ryan?
How do you think they get in your body? Steve, you are a biologist scientist.
I'm pretty sure
bones are alive.
I'm pretty sure when you make something out of a bone, hopefully it's not alive.
Okay, well I'm saying that it used to be alive.
Oh, okay.
But what if you could genetically engineer a guitar made out of bone that you grow in a tank? Like genetically, it's a guitar and it grows and it's made out of bone.
I feel like there's probably some big bioethical concerns with that.
It's not people DNA. It's
just bone. Whose bone is it?
It's cow DNA or something.
Oh man. Oh, I'm not gonna make that joke. That joke's too dumb.
Bone vine. Like there's something there. There's a marketing term there. Like everyone wants their nut made out of bone. Why not make the whole guitar out of bone?
How much bones are hollow-ish?
Yeah,
could be.
But I'm saying you grow it genetically. This is a science experiment. You clone the bone to grow into a guitar. You get a bone clone.
Yeah,
and it grows into a guitar. And it's designed genetically to be hollow inside. And you have to get into the genetic code to decide whether or not it's going to be humbucker or single coil.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just get yourself some stem cells and program it for bone.
Yeah.
This is a great idea. This is the future. Like everyone's
get that bone tone.
Where everyone's worried about like, oh, CRISPR can be used to eliminate all of these hereditary diseases, or it can be used to create super soldiers. What will bioethicists do? And Ryan's sitting over here going like, could we use CRISPR to
grow
make guitars out of bones?
Now, the guitar's got bones. It's got a skeleton because we've grown it. What if we do decide?
Isn't it just one bone, or is it a full skeleton?
What if we decide we do want a living guitar and we genetically engineer something to be a living organism that functions as a guitar? It's got skin, it's got organs, it's got blood. Well, it's alive. You have to feed this guitar.
As soon as you stretch skin over your guitar skeletons, isn't it no longer guitar? It's a banjo because it's got skin stretched over it. Just saying.
Yeah, obviously I'm being ridiculous right now. But I don't know. I think if wood really did become luxury level expensive, I mean, already we're using, like all these fancy woods and guitars that I'm sure aren't cheap. But like if normal everyday wood becomes expensive, that your flamed maples and stuff are going to be extra expensive. I don't see any reason why we can't start seeing more alternative materials being used. Like I wouldn't mind.
Do you think do you think guitars are just made out of wood primarily because it's the cheapest readily available material?
I think it's a cheap material that's readily available and easy enough to work with. I think that the fact that everyone knows how to work with it and we've got all this machinery that knows how to work with it, I think that's a huge factor. Like the CNC machine knows what to do with wood and it knows it can cut through it. But we've got to have all sorts of other materials that can be handled the same way.
How soft of a plastic do you think you could make a guitar out of?
There's all kinds of plastics out there.
And still, right. So it's like, could you just here's what I want to know. Has anybody 3D printed a guitar?
Oh, sure.
And like they've been like, oh yeah, this is cool, or maybe they 3D print the body, and then I guess the problem is that wood is probably too soft to sand. But I'm thinking that. So what I was thinking with the plastic thing is maybe more about like using
like vacuum mold it.
Yeah, like use a mold, and then once you have your mold, if it's dense enough that you can like drill into it, then you're double good. Or you just mold it where you don't really need to drill into it except for the things you're mounting to it. And then you paint it.
Well, here's the thing. If you make it out of the right kind of plastic, you don't need to paint it at all. You just injection mold the color that you want.
Yeah, but I want that glossy finish.
It can be whatever this fantasy material can be a material that can be polished glossy.
Tell me about your fantasy wood, Ryan.
My fantasy wood is plastic, apparently.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know. I'm open to future possibilities. I do like my wood guitars. And when, wood becomes exceptionally rare, I will sell them to you guys for millions of dollars and I will go buy the plastic guitars. I'd actually be very curious to try a guitar that was made out of like milk carton plastic or something like that.
Or like just resin. You could just...
Well, resin guitars are already a thing.
Do you think anyone's ever thought about making a guitar out of like other wood sources, like pencils or colored pencils?
Shut up. What if they made them out of candy, like Jawbreaker?
Live oak? Could you make a guitar out of like live woods?
Only if you commit to pouring a neon blue resin river down the middle of it. Then you can make a guitar out of live edge wood. Yeah.
You should make a guitar out of all of these FedEx boxes you've got back here.
There was there was that video where someone made a guitar out of plasticized cardboard. And it looked fine, but it was mostly a gimmick, Yeah. No, I think this is an interesting mental challenge. I'd love to know what people think. Like, what unconventional material do you think a guitar could be made out of, and have it be, you can make it out of anything and it would be structurally sound.
Here's what
it could be cosmetically sound. Like there's got to be materials though that could, in theory, be attractive tonally and ergonomically as far as weight goes, as far as how the resonance feels against your body and stuff. And I know there's already like composite materials out there that people are using and aluminums and stuff like that, but I want to hear about new stuff.
Here's my guarantee.
Steve's guarantee. Okay. Here it comes.
Somewhere there's somebody who is cruising Guitar Fetish, the clearance section at Guitar Fetish, and they're like, man, all of these bodies are like $10 or $20 a piece. I'm going to buy like 50 of them. This is a good investment.
Yeah, because someday wood, it's going to be all over, and you're going to be paying a premium to get those wood bodies again. Any kind of wood. Plywood, particle board. If it grew in a tree at some point, now you're rich.
I planted a particle board tree in my yard last week.
What about a cork guitar made completely out of cork? And then you could stick push pins into it.
All right, you want to hit this first ad?
Yeah, let's do it. Which one was it again? Oh, the pink bass 6. This is an Andertons and Chicago Music Exchange exclusive, apparently, with Squire.
How did they get 2?
I don't know. Maybe they joined forces. Maybe this is like them gearing up to be owned by the same company. Maybe they're flirting with each other.
Do you think Chicago Music Exchange would own Andertons, or Andertons would own?
I think Etsy would own them both.
Does Etsy own CME or just Reverb?
Just Reverb.
Okay.
But I could see both outfits courting some sort of investment dollar to be like, yeah, we'll sell. Yeah, come buy us. Like if Etsy's happy with Reverb, then there's probably some other investment company out there that's looking at, the parent company, not to mention having a European branch like Andertons. Like this is 100% speculation right now. We know nothing. We're just speculating based on the fact that they both have this limited run color, apparently, of a Squire Classic Vibe Bass 6 in shell pink with matching head cap and 3-ply parchment pick guard. A few people on the Facebook group have been trying to peer pressure me into buying one of these. It's $529.
Yep.
Which isn't ridiculous. I think that the standard finish of these is like $450 or something, isn't it? Of a bass 6.
Is it? I don't even think I realized they were currently making these.
Yeah. I've tried them a couple times and they're fun every time I try a bass 6, but I've never been like, oh my gosh, I have to have one of these. And honestly,
$499.
Oh, it is $499. So it's only $30 more for the pink. I'm still kind of on the fence with my pink Cyclone, feeling like it's too close to my own skin color. It's in a bag over here.
Because you played it.
Yeah, I played it this past Sunday.
That was the joke. Oh my gosh, I did not put that together. Somebody commented on your Instagram like, "Oh, that's a really great picture of you." That must be what they meant.
Right, because it's the same color as my sickeningly pink skin.
I like this. I thought about Super Rich Steving this and just being
buying it and destroying it?
No, well, I mean just being like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
$530, sure.
Let's do it. Play bass. I do play baritone, and you can string these to be baritone.
You could just play this like a super thick boy baritone.
Also, they're not shipping till December or something stupid like that.
Oh, really?
So it's like, if I bought this now, it would be like a surprise Christmas present that would show up.
Maybe if my option call on AMC really takes off next week, I'll go in on one of these.
I'm just waiting for that Dogecoin to take off to the moon.
I'm so disappointed that not to get too far off the rails. Did you watch any of the Elon Musk on SNL?
No, I don't care to. First of all, I don't care about SNL like at all. I'm sorry, SNL.
And you don't care about Elon Musk.
I don't really care about Elon Musk either.
Basically, they just asked him like, "Hey, explain this cryptocurrency thing," and he's like, "Well, it's like digital currency." And they're like, "Yeah, but what is it?" And he's like, "It's like money, but it's on the internet." Like basically, it's all like half-assed.
Right.
But the one thing he did say, which is true, is Michael Che pulled out a dollar bill and he's like, "But how does it compare to this?" And he's like, He's like, oh, it might be more real than that. Which is true, because tomorrow the U.S. government could be like, your dollar's worthless, and we just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's been your Money Minute with 60 Cycle Hum.
That's all currency forever and ever. Like,
yeah. Well, not back when we were on the gold standard.
Even then, gold is worth something because everyone agrees that it's worth something.
But going back to this guitar, I think it looks cool, but I also think the idea that it's exclusive in a color that like kind of already exists pretty commonly.
This is going to sound weird.
What?
If I was black, I can feel you.
This is
I can feel you wanting to stop the podcast right now. If I was black, I would buy this right away. Like, I wouldn't have trouble buying a pink guitar. It is purely because of my own personal skin tone.
Why couldn't you just be like, if I wasn't pink, any other skin tone? If I was,
I think that contrast would be a lot of fun. Like, I think the guitar would really pop.
You could have just gone with, if I was a normal white person.
If I wasn't a pasty freak.
If I was Italian.
If I wasn't a pasty freak, I think I would be more into this. Like, it was already a huge gamble for me to get the Cyclone. If I was black, though, I would get this.
Jeez.
Don't cancel me. I mean it. Jeez. I mean it in well, how do I mean it? You know that I'm not being awful, guys, right?
Hey, I'm not racist. It's not racist. It's just really awkward.
It's very awkward. It's very cringy what I just said. Very uncomfortable. But thinking in terms of like how this guitar would connect and contrast with my own skin tone makes me think that way. Like, if I had a completely different skin tone,
why did you just say that?
I think it would be because it was more fun to say if I was black and feel you cringe.
Okay, all I can say is if you're gonna do if this reality was a reality, which it's not, but if it was, you would have to form a Blackpink cover band. That's it.
A
Blackpink cover band.
What is Blackpink?
Blackpink is a band.
I don't know about them.
It's like J-pop.
Oh, okay.
It's a J-pop thing. You wouldn't understand. You're too white.
I'm too white. That's been the problem all along. I don't know. Do you think this is a good buy? It's $30 more.
Sorry. I'm the racist one. Blackpink is K-pop.
Do you think this is a good buy? Is $30 more than a normal base 6 from Squier in a limited edition color, and you will not get it for at least 6 months?
I mean, if you really want that color, then yeah. It's a fine buy.
I think it's worth waiting for. Like,
it's a one-off color. I mean, and it's $30. It's not. Do you remember? Okay, do you remember? Because Pepperidge Farms remembers. And they're not this way now. Right now, the Squier Classic Vibe Base 6 in black is $4.99 at Guitar Center, and in three color sunbursts. They don't call it three. I guess they're not tones anymore. They're colors.
Right.
Is $4.99 at Musician's Friend. But do you remember, like, back in the day when sunbursts were always like $30 to $50 more than solids?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like that same thing. It's not a you know what this $30 is? It's what Fender is paying Chicago Music Exchange to sell this. Like, it's the artist cut.
Right. That's probably exactly what it is. That is the extra cut that Chicago and Andertons gets off of this.
And so I guess my take is if this shade, and they did the headstock, which is cool. If this shade is, and the headstock, I'll say the headstock's, it's a little extra work.
If this was
do
like,
the headstock.
If this was Surf Pearl, I'd probably buy it. If it was like graffiti yellow, I'd probably buy it.
Just not. You don't want another shell pink.
I think it's the pink. I think it is neat to have a different color than the black and the sunburst, which are arguably boring colors.
I think there's a white one too.
If it was,
I'd get the sunburst.
Is there a white one?
How dare you?
I think I'd get a white one.
I'm pretty sure there used to be a white. I've played the white one.
If there was, like a normal seafoam green, I'd probably be all about it. I mean, if there was any kind of heavy metal flake,
Somebody's got a seafoam green.
I wonder if it's a refin.
I don't know, but this is an article by Michael James Adams.
Oh, of course it is.
At mmguitarbar.wordpress.com.
If anyone is going to talk me into buying one of these things, it's going to be Mike. Mike, if you're listening and you feel the need to talk me into this, then you know how to hit me up.
This I believe this surf green, whatever is that surf green color, base 6 is actually the Paul Frank custom. And Mike's is the black one.
I don't know. Now I'm feeling iffy about this. Maybe I do. But the problem is every guitar that I see on the internet, I'm like, oh, maybe I need that.
So where I was going before is I realized that this isn't a production color for this guitar, but it is a production color for other current models, or at least recent current models, like the Cyclone, which is where I think the previous, I don't know if it was an Andertons exclusive or if it was, but it was the Danish Pete Squire that was in that purple sparkle.
Right.
Where it's like, I don't think there was another guitar in the entire Squire lineup that had that color.
Right.
Like those are the kinds of exclusive, like if this was like, Sherwood green metallic, like that would have been.
That would be pretty slick. That would be
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And again, it's a color that doesn't exist.
Right.
Like I want colors that you can't get on any production.
Like guitar. If this was that color of the new Squires that are coming out, this like that blue burst, that would be hot. I'd be all about that. But yeah, even a white one, like you mentioned, white with like a flamey tort pick guard, I'd be all about that.
This episode is brought to you by Paris Hilton's Conversations podcast. That's hot.
Oh my gosh. We should do a sponsor now.
Yeah, let's do a sponsor.
Let's do the new sponsor.
This week's episode actually is sponsored by the Lead Guitar Toolkit. Lead Guitar Toolkit is an app suite.
It's 4 apps.
4 apps. Oh, that was the end of. So they've got this first app that I'm pulling up is called Guitar Lick Master, where you can learn. I don't know what this is. Let's see what this sounds like. This is called Ender Bender.
It's got tabs on it and stuff. The one I've been messing around with a lot is the Drum Beats app.
Oh yeah, let's pull that one up.
It's got hundreds of drum beats in it, and one of my favorite things is it has a little dice button here. You hit the dice button, and it just like randomizes and picks a beat for you and just starts playing it. And I like to hook up my my Fender Micro Mini headphone amp thing, and it pairs to my phone over Bluetooth, and I just play drum beats and just jam to it.
You want to hit that dice? Let's see what we get.
Jazz swing. There's also an app called Jam Tracks, which has drums and guitar and bass. It's like a full band you can jam along to. You can select different genres of music in different keys, major or minor. And it's just fun to mess around with. It's got chord charts. It's got the chords that are used in each song. It's got the scales that are used in each song. It's a really fun little suite of apps that you can practice with, that you can learn from. There's one that covers more traditional lessons with modes and stuff that.
Called Modal Buddy.
And this isn't an app, by the way, that's made by some app farm in some country you've never heard of, and you'd never be able to contact them and stuff. It's made by 2 brothers in Rhode Island.
Is that what, they're brothers?
They're brothers.
I never saw a last name for Ron.
Is my understanding anyways.
Rick and Ron they're a couple guys out on the East Coast.
And they're the ones recording all this stuff. They're a drummer and guitarist.
Yeah.
Team of brothers making these apps together, recording the drum parts, recording the guitar parts, and putting them together in a way that's useful as like a practice sort of scenario. And I've legitimately been enjoying them. Ever since I got the Mustang Micro, I sit on the couch at night with headphones, and while the family's watching, TV, I sit there and I jam and I practice. I don't know if I've gotten any better at all.
You haven't.
But I am having fun, and I do feel like I'm learning things.
Yeah, and it's cool to have it the way that this is, and you can just throw on some headphones and maybe you don't plug it. Or like you said, you can run it through a Bluetooth or whatever, or you run it through your Bluetooth amp.
Yeah, you have
one of those.
You have an amp that has an aux in. You can run it in there. You know, you can run it into your computer. Like if you have an aux in on your computer, anything that you can run your smart device into with audio, you can amplify this stuff with.
Anyway,
also it all runs independently. Like you're running it on your app. Then you jump over to GarageBand. You can record yourself jamming while like that backing track is playing.
Oh, it will not drum master and lick master. It won't lick master and drum beats at the same time, but it will jam track and drum beats at the same time. I gotta stop. Guys, go to leadguitartoolkit.com/60cyclehum. It will take you straight to the app store.
Yeah, and they've sponsored the next 4 episodes, so you're gonna hear about this again.
Hopefully it sounds cleaner next time we talk about it.
Yeah, we'll be by the 4th time we'll be well practiced and we'll know exactly what to say about these apps. But I am legitimately stoked on these apps. I've been using them. I think it's $15 for all 4,
which is a pretty good deal. I think
not bad. I think it's $5 each, so you save $5 if you get all 4. You get the bundle, and it sounds like they're continuing to develop new content for it all the time. Like the drum one has hundreds of beats in it.
Yeah.
And stuff that it's got songs, it's got styles, it's got rudimentary, like basic stuff. Like, oh, here's a 4 on the floor beat with a bass drum. Like it's got all sorts of stuff in there that you can mess around with. So yeah, I'm stoked on it. So thanks for sponsoring the show, guys. What's next?
What's new, Ryan?
Oh, what's new? Oh man, what is new? I got that Eart guitar in.
Yeah, I got to play it, and let me tell you, that guitar will change your life. I have never played a better guitar. And I mean, I've played like Tyler, Sir, Tom Anderson.
Steve got over here.
Fender Custom Shop.
He picked it up. He ran right out the door with it. He took it to his tech. His tech said, I've played $6,000 guitars and this is better than those guitars.
I would easily put this guitar up against like a $10,000 D'Angelico jazz box. You're going to get very similar tones. It basically killed, like, this is better than the Silver Sky. John Mayer, probably this is going to be his next signature guitar.
Oh my gosh.
Almost guaranteed.
Steve.
Almost guaranteed.
Are we being too facetious or not facetious enough?
It's a really good guitar for what it is.
It's a $200 guitar and you can play it.
And I don't mean that like it's a great guitar for the money. Like I was, I think everything you said about it is right, basically. Like it's got some quirks to it. You know what? I didn't say this to you earlier. You know what this guitar makes me think of?
What does it make you think of, Steve?
It makes me think of if you took the parts off of like 5 high-end guitar brands and you dumped them all in a bucket, like this is what would come out.
But then like you threw the bucket at $175 guitar.
Sure.
So
it's like the tuners, the tuners felt good. The bridges like maybe it feels like at least Wilkinson grade. That's not a knock. That's what it is.
It feels like the bridge might be like Frankenstein from a few different models of bridge. Like the saddles don't match the bridge plate, which doesn't match the block. Like it seems like a hybrid of things. Yeah. The knobs that came on it were like the cheapest plastic I've ever seen on knobs in my life.
Someone threw that out there like, oh, like I can't believe like you bought this thing and your criticism is the knobs. They were bad.
Yeah.
They were like, I made these in my spare time with my 3D printer.
They're the
They
were the Wish.com version of a Strat knob.
That's what they are. That's exactly a perfect description.
And then this pick guard, like the camera cannot pick it up.
It is so green.
It is like glow in the dark green. But at its core, like after I've done a setup on this guitar, I think it actually plays really fun. It's got a bright and twangy sort of sound to the pickups.
Yeah, I didn't plug it in. I'm just saying from a playing perspective, it's got its quirks, but I think for $200 it's fine. I would also say like as a traditionalist of sorts and as a person who definitely plays with their eyes sometimes more than, their hands, I'd probably rather own a Squier 9 times out of 10. But you know that if that's not you, you're a better person than me.
The thing I was thinking about it recently is that it is the Carl's Jr. / Hardy's $6 burger of guitars, where they come out with this fast food hamburger, like, oh, we're calling it the $6 burger because it's in the style of it's made to make you think about sit down restaurant thick patty burgers. But then you actually get it and you try it and you're like, yeah, it's got a thick patty. Yeah, like visually, I see that they're trying to do like a sit-down restaurant style burger, but you take a bite of it and you're like, this is still fast food hamburger meat, still fast food hamburger bun. I'm still tasting a fast food hamburger. The proportions are just different. Like it is still a budget guitar in its soul, but it is trying to present as you like a Sir or a Tom Anderson or something like that. Yeah. That is trying really hard to do those things, but it still has that fast food flavor. It's really you really can't understand it until you are in the same room with it, because on camera it can look fine. You read the specs and you're like, this sounds great. And it is fun to play, but there's something about it that when you're in the same physical space with it, like you can sense that something's off.
It's an uncanny valley guitar.
It is an uncanny valley thing.
That's a really good description, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But I've been having fun playing with it.
Gosh, that pick guard is freaking me out.
And every single plastic piece on it is a different color. Hey. The pickups are a different color.
There's your pickguard material.
Oh my gosh. The pickguard is a different color than the pickups, which are a different color than the knobs, which is a different color than the switch tip, which is a different color than the trim arms tip.
Wiggle stick tip. Oh my gosh.
It really truly feels like a parts bucket guitar that happens to play and feel better than the price, but not to the extent that many YouTube channels are hyping it to be. It is truly a fun guitar in a really odd way. I'll say that. I'm excited to do more coverage of it. I'm actually working on the next evolution of the Affordaboard series concept of videos. I'm gonna try to do an Affordastrat series. And I'm going to get other $200 Strat style guitars in to shoot out against that guitar. And
how many are there? Eart, Ivy.
I mean, there's the Donners and the Glaries and stuff like that.
You're gonna get another Glary, huh?
I'd rather not. I got that Glary Telecaster. I'd rather not get another Glary because I already know what it's gonna be like. But if you guys have like a model in mind,
Mahar,
I could even get like Harley Bentons and Squire Affinities are like 230 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
so that's kind of in the range. I think trying to hit within $50 north or south of $200, I think it's a good range.
Yeah, to
try to compare, and maybe I can find one that's better than the Eart. Maybe they'll all be worse, and that will confirm that the Eart is the best in class or something like that. But I'm talking to a potential sponsor to help make this happen. Secrets. If it happens, it'll happen. But anyways, I'm excited to go that direction.
The secret sponsor is a budget guitar maker. They're going to win. That's how these things work.
It's going to be completely objective and fair. A Affordastrat brought to you by Thoman's Harley Benton.
This guitar shootout is brought to you by Firefly, and this week we pin a Firefly against a PRS. Let's see who wins.
Can you imagine if I actually did that? People would be so angry.
Oh, you should do it.
The sponsor will not be a conflict of interest for the sake of the series.
Oh man,
what's new with you, man?
I had a thing, and then I forgot it, and then I found another thing.
Oh, what's the other thing? We don't need the backstory on your thinking process.
I forgot that too.
Oh, damn it.
So I'm looking for, I posted about it on the Discord. I am looking for a pedal board. And some people are just, though now that I found out there's a lumber shortage, because some people are like, well, dude, just go buy like a 2x4 and slap your pedals onto that.
Yeah, right.
But that sounds like way more expensive than a pedal train.
That's super rich Steve territory. Going to buying a 2x4, Steve?
So I was actually looking at Amazon. It's kind of overwhelming. There's
That
so
should
many
be
like
a super rich Steve
there's
thing.
like so many import pedal boards.
You should go buy a sheet of plywood and then we'll film you burning it with gasoline. Like a plastic bag full of gasoline.
Jeez.
So you're looking for a pedal board right now.
I am looking for a pedal board. I did get some suggestions, but I forgot what there's like a brand that is like,
what size are you looking for?
I don't know. It sounds so dumb when I say it out loud, but basically I have pedals that are off my current board and I like my current board. So my headspace is if I build another complete pedal board, like drive through modulation, then I'm probably more likely to say, okay, I'm going to take this board or I'm going to take this other board than I am to say, I'm going to take this board, but I'm going to swap one pedal on it. That's just like my headspace and how I tend to process stuff like that. So I'm kind of like, maybe I should just get a second pedal board. And other people are saying like, oh, you should just get someone sent me instructions to the Gorm IKEA build, which I've done one of those before. So I just want like a quick and easy solution. I need to look at those Amazon branded, it's not Amazon branded, but it's like just these random Chinese brands, because I think some of them come with a lot of different accessories. I need to look a little closer. If you've got a recommendation, shoot me something in the comments. Yep. You want to hit this next ad?
Yeah, let's do it. This next ad was sent to us by Joey Gambarelli, and it is for this really cool custom painted Jazzmaster style body.
This is a solid alder jam style body, proudly routed in Canada by Tone Bomb. Has been finished with a magenta purple thumbprint. That's what they call it, thumbprint design. Its pattern took up about 2 miles of fine line tape and looks just stunning. It's actually magenta and purple translucent candy paint over a silver metal flake base. That's why you like it. So there's lots of bling. Blingity bling bling bling.
I've been working on definishing and then potentially refinishing the Supersonic. And when this popped up, it was like, I really like that. I wouldn't mind doing the Supersonic in that style. I also think it's really interesting that this sold. It's listed as sold on Reverb.
Oh.
It was listed at $432, and I really like that the pictures show that it's not perfect, and that gives me confidence. Not maybe necessarily to try to do this exactly, but to not feel bad, like if I do biff it up quite a bit, because like you see, like there's paint chipping around the edges.
Okay.
There's also this chip right here. Like I'm sure like paint released. And like a lot of that clear candy released as the tape was being pulled and stuff. Yeah. So it is showing that it's not 100% perfect, and someone still bought it for 400 something bucks.
How do you get the tape to curve?
There's tape that is flexible.
It's just that flexible. Okay.
Yeah. But I've got the Supersonic body right here.
Yeah.
I've completely stripped it already. I did a test where I sprayed over the stock paint with candy spray paint that I have. And then I was like, I don't really like this. It looks kind of cool, but I don't really like it. So then I started stripping all the paint off with a heat gun. And then after the fact, I realized that candy paint comes off super duper easy with rubbing alcohol.
Oh, no.
You can see it just was wiping away in the body cavity. It's like I could have completely reset it and tried again with the candy paint instead of stripping it all the way down to wood. But I'm kind of excited to attack this thing and come up with, one of the funky, awful looking things that I like to do.
Is this all only heat gun?
Yeah, so it's all heat gun.
Man, that's so... When I heat gunned, I couldn't get my paint out of here.
It was tricky.
I got to go back in with the sander.
I did sand this. There was a sander.
That's what I was saying. Did you sand?
But I didn't sand away paint. I was sanding away the clear layer underneath.
Yeah.
Also, it had a veneer on both sides. I was able to heat scrape away the veneer all the way on the top, but there's quite a bit left on the back. And I'm trying to figure out how perfectionist I want to get. Like, clearly I'm not a perfectionist at all. Like, if I end up doing something kind of textural on this, I don't think I'm going to worry about it. Part of me is thinking about doing the nail polish thing again. Because I was actually admiring that finish on my Strat the other day. I don't know.
Anyway,
I might have ruined a perfectly fine guitar.
I think you did.
I'm having fun though.
Well, yeah.
But I really like this design. Like, this is really, really fun. I love the colors. I love the line work. I love the flow of it. Like, I want to see Fender put out guitars like this. Like, that would be expensive, I'm sure.
Yeah. Fender Custom Shop.
But man, that is fun.
Right, Ryan Burke. You know what? Rick Beato just got a signature guitar. Come on, Fender.
Yeah.
Where's that Ryan Burke signature guitar?
I think I'd have to have a lot more viewers for that to happen.
How many viewers does he have?
Millions?
Does he even sell gear?
He sells a book?
That's not gear.
That's not a gear. Well, he's selling a signature guitar, apparently.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So what do you think? 400 something bucks for this body. You think that's worth it, despite the little flaws and stuff that are
I think
built
the
into
flaws are fine. I mean, $400 for a body is always tough, but
I mean, normally, like, just a regular body is like 200 something, right? Like, if you get
I mean,
a fairly normal finish on it.
And this is a pretty complicated, I feel like,
Yeah.
pretty complicated finish to do.
Even though it's not perfect, I feel like if I was gearing up to build a parts Jazzmaster and this was on reverb, I might have pulled the trigger on this.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Like, you say, like, it's not perfect, but most of the places where the paint's flaking away are underneath the pick guard.
That's true.
Or they're underneath the trem.
Also, I would
vibrato.
Even though I
Trembrato.
love this finish, I'd still be totally fine with it picking up relic over time.
Yeah. Here's what I'm saying, Ryan. There's this whole thing about, like, is it vibrato or tremolo? I want somebody to come out with a product called the Trembrato, and I want another company to come up with one called the Vibralo.
The Vibralo.
Vibralo.
All right.
Excuse me. Man, that Al Pastor's coming back up.
Are the other sponsors or the next topic?
We're just talking about some sponsors.
All right.
This episode's also brought to you by Chaseless Audio.
Makers of the Dark World.
If you want a pedal that's more creative than you are, head on over to chaselessaudio.com, where for as little as some amount of money, you can get this pedal, the Dark World, but not this pedal. You can get your own. Get your own. chaselessaudio.com. This pedal show, this podcast is also brought to you by Big Ear Pedals. You know, people keep telling me you guys advertise for Big Ear Pedals, but when I go to their website, there's nothing there. And that's true. But you can go look for dealers. Some dealers still have some of their pedals in stock. You can buy them there. That helps them out. Or just get on the mailing list. Follow them on social media, Big Ear Pedals. And then you'll know when the next batch of, I don't know, the Albi, the curated
Curated multi-effect.
The words effect. BigEarPedals.com. Go check it out.
Do you think they're sold out of stuff because of us, Steve? Should we take the blame?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's why. That is why. It's not because of whatever issues are plaguing the entire industry right now with sourcing parts. It's because we have been talking about them and making them so popular. So huge thanks to Big Ear and Chaseless for once again sponsoring the show and making this possible. All right. Next topic was asked by Jordan Carroll through the Facebook group. How do y'all practice currently? And how did you in the past? What worked best for you?
Y'all talking about practice.
So what?
Y'all come out here talking to me about practice.
Don't get him started.
Practice.
This old joke is years old at this point. Probably like 6 or 7 years old now.
It's like I think it's almost 20 years old.
Oh my God, Steve! Why are you still living in the past
Practice?
with this meme?
Let's talk about the game.
Oh my gosh! Shut up!
How do I practice now? The answer to that is I
But what I want to know is, how did you practice to learn when you were starting? Like, at some point you hunkered down and you learned things, and you were practicing guitar and bass to learn the things that you know now. What was that process like?
When I first started playing guitar, I legitimately probably played for at least an hour a day, if not more. And sometimes I would just find time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I had a binder that I would like just print off.
Was it full of women?
Yes. No. It was full of chord charts and tabs.
Oh, that sounds more useful.
And I would print them out off of the internet and 3-hole punch them and put them in this binder, and it was just full of it. And I would like flip through, and I would just like, sometimes I'd just pick up in the morning and play like one song out of this book for like the length of the song. And that was like first thing. I get up, eat breakfast, I'm like waiting like for my parents to give me a ride to school. So I'd be like, oh, I have time to play one song. And then I'd come home and play a different song, or maybe the same song. I don't know. But I would like I said, I would probably play for a good couple of years. I probably played like different songs for, I don't know, half an hour, 2 hours a day.
Yeah, I think that mirrors what I would do. Like, it's that thing, like, if you fall in love with it, then you just want to play, and so you play a lot. And when you're a teenager, you don't have a ton to do. Yeah. You're sitting around bored a lot, especially when we were teenagers and there wasn't that much to do on the internet. But you could go and you could get tabs that were somewhat close to suggestively correct. It was a little harder than it is now to find correct information, but you could get most of the way with like the crowdsourced tabs that were out there. And I spent a lot of time just looking up tabs, learning the little riffs from, like TV show themes and stuff like that, and whatever songs I knew from the radio, and just sit there and just try to play stuff that basically I was trying to play songs that I wanted to listen to. Because there wasn't a way to download the songs. There wasn't a way to get those songs besides just downloading like MIDI chiptune versions of songs. Oh my gosh. So it's kind of like this self-entertainment thing. Like, oh, I want to hear this guitar riff. So I'm going to learn how to play it from memory with help from this very sketchy tab. One thing I remember doing, and I think I need to get back into it, I used to print off these blank fretboard charts that I put together. And I would sit there and I had a vague idea of what scales were. Right. I knew that if you knew the scale to a song, then it would just translate across the entire fretboard. So I would sit there and I'd figure out which notes worked in a song that I was listening to on the radio or a CD or something like that. And I would chart them out. And then I would go across the rest of the fretboard chart and find that same note across the whole fretboard and then fill out the whole thing. And I was basically making scale charts for myself. Right. Trying to figure out, how does this song work? How do I find the parts that I'm not able to find if I chart out all the notes that I know fit in this? And I probably got pretty close a lot of the time. I know I missed a lot of stuff doing that. Yeah. But I think that was a fun exercise, and I think that's probably something I should probably get back into. These days, I am practicing these days. Right. Despite what people think, because I'm not getting better at guitar. In fact, I might be getting worse. But I have been practicing, and I've been trying to get into a little bit more theory than I've ever gotten into. Like lately, I've been focusing on thinking in thirds. Like, I'm always trying to like think of like, where is the third to this note that I'm playing right now? And trying to find the muscle memory and just like the shapes to immediately identify like where the third would be. Like, and it's easy, like if you're doing it like power chord style, like the third relative to the note that I'm playing right now. But it's a lot harder if I'm like, where's the third relative to the scale that I'm playing right now? And it feels kind of out of my intellectual depth a lot of the time, but it's been kind of challenging and fun. So that's what I've been doing right now.
I just need to break out of, and I've, for years is like, I've always kind of just been a chord person. Right. Like, and that's another, well, anyway, I don't want to get off the, I've just always been like a chords person. So my like ability to play single notes just is not great. So I mean, that's a thing I'd like to work on, but a lot of the times, like I wouldn't even say like I practice now. I just like, oh, I have 5 minutes to pull a guitar down off the wall, and I'll just sit there and like play the D chord in like 8 different positions. Then I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done. This is a D. This is an F sharp. This is a
Steve sits down.
This is a G.
He plays all the D chords he can find. He wipes the sweat from his brow. He's like, I've done it.
Usually by the time like I've done that for like 2 or 3 minutes, one of my kids runs upstairs and is like, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah. Well, I cannot play guitar when my kids are awake in the house. Like I can do it here in the garage. I can't do it in the house because if they see me using my hands in any way, like they have to interrupt it.
Right.
Like I think it's a biological imperative that they have to interrupt the use of my hands, no matter what I'm doing.
Well, like
if I'm cooking, if I'm touching raw chicken and I'm holding it in my hands, like in that moment, they need me to do something with my hands for them. Like there's no waiting for it.
Right. But then like for me, when I get home, so finally I get home. Like when I get home and the kids finally go to bed, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to play guitar. Then so I pull the guitar off downstairs, and then my wife's like, I've been listening to the kids make noise all day. Please stop making noise. I mean, there's nothing like it's true. It's true.
We need to get you one of the headphone plug things. I'm really liking the Mustang
even
Micro.
just the sound of the strings and stuff. And it's also like, because I've tried to play the Eastwood bass, that semi-hollow bass, and I'll be upstairs playing it.
And it's too damn loud.
And it's unplugged, and I'm just playing it, but because it's got enough acoustic sound going, and it's late at night, and I have neighbors. Like I have neighbors on the other side of a wall, so it's like can't really do a lot with that.
I don't know how my neighbors put up with me in here. Like I recorded a pedal demo for like an hour and a half today. And a lot of that was just me playing the same part over and over again, trying to get it right. Like the neighbors to either side across the street from me must be sick of hearing me and my sloppy noodles all day. I know I'd be sick of it.
Well, you just got this one neighbor over here because the guy across the street's also a musician. Your other neighbors.
No, those people moved.
Oh, the music people moved?
Across the street, yeah.
Oh,
there's some kids over there that played and they're gone now. Yeah. Bummer, right? Oh, man. Although I kind of worried, like, teenagers across the street playing guitar, if they know what I have, they're going to try to rob me.
Oh my gosh. You just leave out one of the affordable bins as like a peace offering.
Right.
Take this.
All right, should we hit this last ad and get out of here?
Let's do some housekeeping. We want to thank at the it was like a €4.55 sub. What do they call coins in euro? I mean, they have euro. Are they cents?
I don't know.
Euros and cents? I don't know. Anyway, Tomi Alamo. I think it's basically the equivalent to $5 US. So thanks.
Thank you.
And Spaghetti Butler.
Butler?
Paid for a whole year.
Oh, nice.
At the $5 level. So thanks for that. If you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can contribute to us and this stupid internet world that we're creating. You want to hit this last ad? Let's hit this last ad. This was sent by Jason Clark. This is musical chairs.
Oh, we're doing the chairs.
State-of-the-art chair collection, 4 pieces for both musical performer and audience.
It is
$500.
4 chairs. I'm not sure one of them's even a chair. No, I see it. Now it is 2 matching plexiglass acrylic chairs.
Okay.
But then the other 2 chairs, one is a piano bench and one is a drum throne.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's actually only 2 chairs here. There are 2 chairs, a bench, and a throne.
Right.
/ stool. I guess it's a throne. Okay.
I don't know about the value of those acrylic chairs, but they look like the sort of thing you would pick up at a really tacky, like, furniture store for like $75 each. I believe that there's really nice drum thrones and piano benches out there that cost big money. I don't think these are it.
No, that's a nicer throne.
You think that's a nice throne?
It's a nicer throne.
I can't tell the brand on it.
It's
and this picture is so shady that I can't figure out why you would think it's nicer than any other throne.
Because it's a throne that actually is a shape. It's not just the stool.
Oh, okay. So it's not circle. It has like that tractor seat shape to it.
Yeah.
But then that piano bench is short. It's not like a full size.
Oh, that's
piano
a weird
bench.
piano bench.
That looks like a cheap piano bench to me.
Did you just say piano bitch?
That's a cheap piano bench. I did not mean to say that, but it is funny to say now that you pointed out.
Sing me a song, piano bitch. Billy Joel at Billy Joel's at the alternative club. I can't get this to load.
Why does this ad exist? Like, there's nothing to say about this. Don't pay $500 for these musical chairs. Like, if you're going to get musical chairs, just get folding chairs and do the thing where you and your friends go around and around them.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just going to say, I think this is like maybe like $100 drum throne.
Maybe they're not selling the chairs. They're saying, pay me $500 and I'm hosting professional musical chairs tournaments.
Oh.
It's a sports thing.
Well, it's state of the art, so.
Right. No, it's a state of the art sports thing. Like, it's going to be in an arena with like pyrotechnics and a scoreboard and referees and everything like that.
Oh, it's a Rock and Sock Nitro Black throne. It's actually a $210 throne. So that is like a price. That's the brand is Rock and Sock.
I don't think those other three chairs equal out to $100 each, though.
No, they don't.
They got to price this out. They got to be like $150 for the drum throne. They got to be like $25 for that piano bench, and probably $50 each for the plexiglass chairs.
Yeah.
That's my guess, anyways. That's like Craigslist move it prices, if you're lucky. All right. Tell us about the song, Steve.
Hold on, I gotta show you this picture.
Show me a picture.
See that?
There it
There's
is.
that logo.
I see the logo on the drum throne.
All right, this song was sent by Matt Chapin. I don't know. He sent me a bunch of emails.
Well, you told him.
I did.
You told everyone, like, if we haven't played your song, send it again.
I
and
did
he sent
do
it
that.
over and over and over
I
again.
did do that.
So you asked for that, Steve. You deserve that.
That's true. I did do that. He says, I remember a while back, Steve said that the best way to get your attention for music submission is to absolutely spam you with emails. I'm going to give that a try. I hope it's not too annoying. He sent like 5 emails or 6 emails, like one a day. He
I
says,
support this behavior.
my band is called Dialogue, and we're based out of St. Louis, Mo. This song is from an EP we recorded at Lighthouse Sounds in Alton, Illinois. We used an Ibanez Tele-style guitar and an AO Jazzmaster, both recorded through a Mills custom head, but the Ibanez was through a 2x12 cab and the Jam was through a 2x15. Really pleased with how it turned out. The song is called Octopus Tattoo, and I'm going to find it. It's right here, and I'm pushing play now.
By now you're probably driving on the turnpike to Boston, probably blasting out some album by some band I've never heard of. Tried to tell you that I miss you, but you wouldn't pick up your phone. Was it my lack of self-confidence or just my big mouth? Did we have something or did we kill it before it could have gone south?
was fun. I was getting like she's out back counting stars.
That's who I was trying. The whole time I was like, what does this remind me of?
She missed a train to Mars. She's out back counting stars. Like that song.
Yeah. Hum.
We
listened to that album. That was one of our albums.
Oh, yeah, we did. I forgot about that. That was forever ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool song. Glad you sent it 5 times.
Yeah, I liked it.
Bye, everybody.
Send more.
Stay grounded.
See ya.